A great tactician creates plans. A good tactician recognizes the soundness of a plan presented to him. A fair tactician must see the plan succeed before offering approval. Those with no tactical ability at all may never understand or accept it, nor will such people understand or accept the tactician. To those without that ability, those who possess it are a mystery. And when a mind is too deficient in understanding, the resulting gap is often filled with resentment.
Hello Galaxy beings, both human and non. My name is Joey and welcome back to another episode of Galactic Tech. This is a very special episode because it kicks off the first of 3 Thrawn special videos before the new book Chaos Rising releases this September. If you're new to this channel, as always, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you'll be up to date on all of our newest videos. And you won't want to miss these 3 videos. They're going to be really awesome. You also won't want to miss the 20% off you can get at the Animated Apparel website if you use the offer code Joey. As always, make sure you use that. Before we kick this off, I want to say thank you to StarWars.com. They wrote a really awesome article that I'm going to be pulling a lot of content from to make this video. So if you're not a boots on the ground entrenched Star Wars fan like I am, then the name Grand Admiral Thrawn probably has no meaning to you. And that's fair because he's not in any of the live action movies that most people are familiar with. He's a character who has an origin in the Star Wars Legend material. However, thanks to the animated show Star Wars Rebels and recent books that are coming out, Thrawn is slowly being unearthed through the Legend's grave and he's being brought into the Disney canon. Yeah. And I have a lot of enthusiasm about him because he is my absolute favorite character in the Star Wars universe. I will probably name my son after Thrawn. He's my favorite character because he's unlike any other character in the Star Wars universe. He's calm, he's cool, he's collected, he's firm, he's not easily angered, and he is definitely not easily caught off guard.
So that you understand that my intentions are genuine, I shall demonstrate my power. Open fire.
And this isn't just me, but a lot of people would assume that he's probably one of the greatest tacticians to exist in the Star Wars universe. Even after his death, the shadow and thought of Thrawn possibly even being alive still was a shadow that covered crew members and even his enemies. Even the crew that watched him get brutally stabbed by his bodyguard, it really had a hard time understanding that Thrawn was actually dead and this wasn't just a crazy plan he had. And that's because he was always 10 steps ahead of his enemy. He was just seriously a methodical person who was leaps and bounds over other people. So how can you be more like Grand Admiral Thrawn? Well, let's start with number 1. A famous quote by Thrawn is, "Once you understand a species' art, you understand that person." Thrawn was a really big believer that once you understood your enemy, once you really understood your enemy, you could easily defeat them.
How do you mean?
To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not simply their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art.
This can be done by studying your opponent's philosophy, their culture, or by Thrawn's favorite, their actual art, which is a doctrine you really don't hear when trying to understand your enemy. So whether you're on a sales team and you're trying to make a sales pitch, or you're just trying to get rid of an annoying coworker, really take a moment to understand what drives that person. Try to find out what their needs and their desires are. And these clues can be all around us in their company logos and slogans, on their t-shirt design, by their office decor, finding out what kind of TV shows and movies they like. You can use these clues to help tailor a better connection with your future client, or help get rid of Terry, the super annoying coworker. Terry, knock it off. We're coming for you, Terrys. Number 2 is making connections. Thrawn has many instances where he'll just step back, he'll look at patterns, and he'll make connections that a lot of people probably miss in a hurry. This can help prevent errors that are about to unfold or potentially catch your own mistakes or dangers. The ability to see bigger pictures and connections is a trait that benefits Thrawn and can probably help you in your everyday life as well. Maybe your boss gets lunch brought to them every Friday. Maybe your boss is also in a better mood on Friday. So when would be the best time to schedule a pay raise meeting? Fridays. Number 3 is play the long game. Often Thrawn will delay quicker gratification if he knows the reward is going to be a lot greater in the long run. As Grand Admiral Thrawn promises, by playing the long game and having some patience, your enemy will most likely sabotage themselves and be the architects of their own destruction. So next time, play the long game with that creep that keeps stealing your newspaper. Like in step 2, connect the dots, find out when he's coming around to steal those newspapers, and then, you know, just let your automatic yard sprinklers do the rest. Number 4 is learn from your failures and your setbacks. This one's usually easier said than done, but learning from your failures is the best way to come out stronger than you were on your first attempt of doing something. As Thrawn has said to his crew, do you know the difference between an error and a mistake? Anyone can make an error, but the error doesn't become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. Number 5, and the most wholesome one, is know your allies, know your enemies, most of all, know your friends. A really good friend can be hard to find, and Thrawn points that out in one of his journal entries. It's really important to keep a close friend, use your allies' advantages, and know your enemies.
It is said that one should keep one's allies within view, and one's enemies within reach. A valid statement. One must be able to read an ally's strengths, so as to determine how best to use him. One must similarly be able to read an enemy's weaknesses, so as to determine how best to defeat him. But what of friends? There is no accepted answer. Perhaps because true friendship is so exceedingly rare. But I have formulated my own. A friend need not be kept either within sight or within reach. A friend must be allowed the freedom to find and follow his own path. If one is fortunate, those paths will for a time join. But if the paths separate, it is comforting to know that a friend still graces the universe with his skills and his viewpoint and his presence. For if one is remembered by a friend, one is never truly gone.
Just so wholesome. Good stuff right there. So that's going to wrap up this episode. Don't forget, if you want 20% off your card at the Animated Apparel website, use the offer code JOEY and you'll get that saving. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and get ready for the new Thrawn book that's going to be dropping the 1st of September.
The Force will be with us all.